Robin Washut will join us at 1 o'clock. Robin Washut will join us at 1 o'clock. In about 15 minutes, we'll get the top 5 poll questions for the month of June. Any reaction to Josh canceling Lady Liberty or me canceling bikinis in the previous segment?
I think you're probably getting the bigger backlash of the two.
Do we not like America anymore? Apparently we don't. I thought this was America. I don't know. So send those thoughts our way. But I have a list for you first. You know how people say, stupidly, it's a big year for this coach.
I do know that.
As Mitch Sherman very astutely pointed out during our interview about an hour ago, he said, well, you know what I would do, Connor? I would challenge you to go find a coach who it's not a big year for in the Big Ten.
Curt Cignetti.
It's not a big year for him. What if they're horrible?
He can always fall back on first year. We're just flushing out the crap.
Flushing out the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that guy's talked a lot of smack.
Yeah, didn't he say like he
was,
can't wait to contend for a Big Ten title?
Yeah, he's pretty convinced that Indiana is going to be pretty good.
Seems impossible.
It does not seem like a strong possibility. So he's got to back it up. He's talking the smack. He's got to back it up a little bit. So maybe it is a big year for Curt Cignetti. Anyway, I got this idea because I was reading the CBS Sports Big Ten coaches ranking prior to the 2024 season. Who do you? Well, I guess we'll get to my list first, and then we'll talk about the CBS Sports list. Yeah, Josh, give me the Sounders. We're doing these two segments back to back. Big year for who? Number 5.
God, come on, take forever.
Number 5.
Oh, it's a big year for Peach.
Peach at number 5.
Peach is in at number 5.
Row the boat. 7
seasons at Minnesota. People forget that they won 11 games in 2019. And when I say people forget, I mean people definitely don't forget. It's like it was yesterday that PJ Fleck was on top of the college football world just for being 11-1 at one point and beating Penn State, and College Game Day came. And remember, still lost to Wisconsin that year, by the way. There was the 11-win season of 2019. They won back-to-back. They had back-to-back 9-win seasons in 21 and 22. Of course, COVID year doesn't count, even though they stunk that year. But they beat Nebraska when they had 4 players. People forget about that. And then last year they won 6. And they went to a bowl game as a 5-win team. They won that bowl game. I don't think PJ Fleck's in any danger of being fired. He's the head coach at Minnesota. He is clearly interested in moving up. Or at least his agent is clearly interested in pimping him out for other jobs.
Yeah, that's it.
And nobody is taking you out of Minneapolis for winning 6 to 7 games a year. So maybe we find out the answer to the question this year. What is Minnesota? What is Minnesota under PJ Fleck? Is it, nobody expects it to be an 11-win team. Nobody expects it to be a less than 6-win team, but there's a couple different, mini tiers that are in between there. Are you going to be a 9-win team every year? Because if you're a 9-win team, the expectation is some years you're going to be contending for a playoff spot. Can Minnesota be that? Or, as a texter writes in, Jeff right now on the text line, NIL is killing Minnesota.
Whoa.
And they don't have a great setup up
Not
there.
a big war chest.
I mean, just they're in a big city, but nobody tends to really care about the Gophers very much.
Win total of 5.5 on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
PJ loves talking about how nobody is putting NIL into their program. That's part of the reason why he wants to leave. So what are they going to be this year? Max Brosmer will be their quarterback, by the way. It's a big year. It's a big year for PJ Fleck.
Big year.
Who comes in at number 5 on the list. Josh, hit me. Number 4.
Number 4.
Big year. Big year for Brett Bielema.
Oh, really?
Big year for Brett Bielema.
Bretty B.
Remember Brett Bielema, who made Scott Frost throw out half his playbook in August of 2021? Oh, we had to throw it out.
We did.
We had to throw out half the playbook.
Sadly.
We didn't know what they were going to do. They went 5-7 with a couple nice wins that year in 2021.
Nice wins.
Then they jumped up and won 8 games in 2022. They were really, what weren't they? I believe they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They were 7-1 heading into November. They won 1 out of their last 5 games that year. Nearly beat Michigan in November of 2022. And then last year, a year that was, I mean, you know, you kind of find out, okay, were we able to do that again, or was it just kind of luck? I mean, we had Witherspoon, we had Devin Witherspoon. He's no longer here. He's with the Seahawks now. What happens to Illinois this year? Well, they dropped down to 5-7 a year ago with losses to Kansas, Penn State, Purdue, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, in Northwestern. What is Illinois football going to be like under Brett Bielema? As Harvey Perlman would say, we would never hire Bielema. He has raised the floor at Illinois. Are they going to be one of those programs that battles to get to bowl eligibility every year? Or are they going to be more than that? Maybe this is the year we find out. Big year for Brett Bielema. Shout out Harvey Perlman.
Also a win total of 5.5 on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Interesting. That seems like it's in actually the right spot. Jeff writes in, by the way, disappointed in Josh for no big shoes drop yet. We don't have big shoes drop. Josh doesn't do drops. I'm too good for drops.
Not too good. Too busy.
Too busy for drops. Also, Happer's Beam Guy says canceling bikinis confirms this is by far the least horny show in 1620 The Zone. Happy to put that on our marquee least horny show of 1620 The Zone.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Brett Bielema, big year for Brett. Number 3.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
All right, do not panic. Matt Rule.
Whoa.
It's a big year for Matt Rule.
Whoa.
Let's look at this a little bit more globally. Hear me out. Number 1, I just think year 2 tells you a lot. You know, we all expect them to make a jump this year, but what is the jump going to be?
In this day and age.
In this economy? Is it going to be the Tim Miles second year going to the NCAA tournament jump? Or is it just going to be getting to a bowl game? Is it just going to be, getting hot at the end of the year? Like, what is this? This will set the tone for year 3 and year 4 and year 5. I do think, to be fair, I could have put Luke Fickell in this exact same position. He has the same story. It's a pretty revealing year, though. Year 2. It's your program. And I think we all believe that things are going to be at least fine this year. Maybe the floor has come up for Nebraska football. Maybe not so much the same for Wisconsin. We're still unsure about their established floor. But keep in mind, we haven't addressed this much yet, but all that momentum that you've built and that you feel good about the direction, if they're not able to do it during the tests, which is the games this year, all that momentum just gets blasted into the sun. And we're having a completely different conversation if Nebraska happens to fall short of a bowl this year, or maybe even just reaches a bowl, just barely reaches a bowl, the 6 wins. So I think year 2 is revealing for programs, and it's revealing for coaches because it's yours, and you get to show everybody kind of what you're going to be like going forward. So maybe we could just do a co-spot here, a co-spot. Matt Rule, Luke Fickell. Put them in that same zone. Number 2.
Same zone.
Yeah, number 2.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Number 2, it's a big year for Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln
is a Big Ten coach. People forget that. They won 8 games last year with Caleb Williams as their quarterback. Once again, they won 8 games last year with Caleb Williams as their quarterback. Nebraska won 5 with a bunch of fumbling idiots as their quarterbacks. Sorry, Heinrich, and Chubba and Jeff. But you get the point. 8 games with Caleb Williams, including losing 5 out of their last 7. Their defense was horrendous. They have addressed issues with coaching staff and personnel on the defensive side. And now enter the Big Ten. They do, like I said, they have seemed to prepare themselves well from a staff perspective. But this year will tell us a lot. This will establish what it's going to be like in the Big Ten for them. They have, they don't have any like outliers, right? They are generically as talented as they kind of are going to be, right? USC just everywhere. It's not like they have a number 1 pick at quarterback. I don't expect Miller Moss to be the number 1 pick in like 2 years draft. It's just not going to happen. So you don't have these outlier-y factors that could say, oh, well, this is why you jumped this year. Rule kind of has that, by the way. He's got a 5-star quarterback, right? You could make that jump. So USC is a pretty, like I said, generic picture of what USC is going to be. And it sets the tone for learning and life in the Big Ten. It's a big year for Lincoln Riley. Once again, not in any danger of getting fired or anything like that, but it's a big year. Who are you? And what are you going to be in this conference? On to number 1, Joe.
Also sort of the narrative of Lincoln Riley, like, oh, he avoids tough competition. He runs from it. Who's got the biggest year, Connor?
I don't know.
Make it so, number 1.
Who do you think's got the
Number
biggest
1.
year?
Could it be all just for men spokesperson himself?
Yeah. This one's easy.
My arch nemesis.
Big year for Ryan Day. If Ryan
Ryan
Day
Day.
doesn't beat Michigan, he's fired. If Ryan Day doesn't make the college football playoff, it is the biggest disappointment in Ohio State history. I mean, we have to adjust our thinking here. Ohio State is a lock to make the college football playoff. If they somehow, some way fall short of that, it is all over. They are. He is all the way done at Ohio State. But yes, they need to beat Michigan, and they need to. They have the most talent. Here, I came up with a slogan for Ryan Day this year. By the way,
Great!
remember "Get Rich or Die Trying"?
I do. Yes,
Beat Michigan or die trying.
that's a good one.
It's almost like if we die, we die, but beat Michigan or die trying.
I can hear the beginning of Many Men.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing.
You put it on the 50 Cent, cover.
Mhm.
I like that. So Ryan Day is absolutely number 1. It's a big year for Ryan Day, and we all know the reasons why. Thank you for playing the Sounders, Josh. And this is my list. I see no problems with it. Josh will have a list when we return. The top 5 poll questions of the month of June on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.